Hello, Rangers. Mr. Medema here. It is Thursday morning. Just got done with a big Zoom meeting with a bunch of the other teachers, your science teachers, English, not English, art and music teachers. And now I'm back. So sorry this is a little bit late, but I was actually painting in my kitchen, which is kind of over to the side over here. You can see the tape up. I was working in there this morning. Got a coat of paint on that, primer actually. But anyway, now I'm back to working on our house. And so we're going to kind of go through this again and see if I can't keep this on top while I'm working. Maybe not. Maybe we'll have to keep it separated. Anyway, all right, so here is our house that we are working on. And so we brought down all of the roof lines and the window edges. So what we need to do now is draw the actual roof planes, which is the trickiest part of the house, partially because it's different for everybody. And so I'll show you how I'm going to do it with mine. And I may end up needing you to just email me yours and I'll do it for you or give you the pointers and I can show you what to do next. But I'll show you kind of how to do this. So what I want to do is kind of separate the roof only because it's easier to see. So I'm just going to make a copy of that polyline and move this over like that. So I'm only looking at the roof right now. Now, what's tricky about my house or different is that I have 2 stories on part of it and 1 story on the back side. And so I'm going to draw a line through here and connect this across here like that. And this is going to go across here like that. And we're going to go put this on layer roof. If I have a roof layer, I don't. I'm just going to throw it back on elevation detail, I guess, for now. All right, so these 2 planes are the 2nd story roof on the house. And so what I need to do is find the midpoint for the ridge. And so the ridge is going to be the middle part of the roof. This is a gable end on this side, a gable end on this side, and a gable end over here. And so once I've kind of partitioned off the part that's on the 2nd story, I'm going to find the midpoint of this, and I'm going to drag this all the way across. And so you can see that the rainwater is going to go down this way, and the rainwater is going to go down this way, because this is the ridge. Make sense? All right, so now this one is a gable on this edge, and so I'm going to have a ridge coming up the middle. And so I'm going to grab my line tool, and I'm going to draw the midpoint, and I'm going to draw that. And I'm going to make it a little extra long for now because I need to find out where it's going to meet. And so that's another ridge. So again, same idea. We have the rain coming down this way. Oops. And rain going down this way. So now what happens here, this when you're designing your roof, this is kind of the question you need to ask yourself as you're doing this. This is pretty geometric and kind of cool. What I love about it is when you do a roof is that all the lines, if you do it right, they all come together. It's like a sweet math equation. And so it's kind of fun for me doing it because depending on how your layout of your house, the roof is always different for every kid. But it always kind of works out like a math problem every time. And so once a way we can kind of check our work as we go. And so we got our 2 ridges here. And so now we need to connect the 2 ridges. So if water is 180 degrees from each other, so it's going opposite directions, 180 degrees, we get a ridge. So opposite directions, we get a ridge. If water is at 90 degrees or perpendicular, then you're going to get a valley. And so that's going to go at 45 degrees. So you can just walk yourself through those 2 questions. If the water's going opposite, we're going to get a ridge. If it's at 90 degrees, we're going to get a valley. So I'm going to need to grab a line from this corner, and I'm going to draw a valley at 45 degrees. That's one thing that's important. Make sure you don't hit 39 or any weird angle. Make sure it's at 45. That's going to run up until it hits that ridge line. And it's going to go back. And as long as these 2 planes, which they should be, this plane and this plane are on the same line, those 2 45-degree lines should meet up at the same spot. And so now you can see that your water is coming down here, this direction, and here. So we got a perpendicular plane. Water is going to cascade to this valley and come down. Water is going to cascade down here and come to that valley. So now I'm just going to shorten up this ridge. And so the front part of the house will stop a little bit below the larger part of the house. And since we're on the front of the house over here, we really only need to draw those 2 to try to keep it simple for you guys today, since we're already getting quite a bit into this. I'm going to hit escape here. I think I want to do is make a layer for roof since I don't have one right now. And so I'll quick do that. And we'll make it some random weird color so we can see it easy. Let's try like a fuchsia purpley pink color here. And we'll select all this stuff. And so even though this is all not all second story roof, we'll still mark that off as our roof layer. And so we're going to go to roof. And so now when I put it back over the house, I can kind of see where my purple lines are, so I know where to bring those down. All right, so we're going to grab our move tool again, right click anywhere, left click on a corner, doesn't really matter which one. Sorry, I didn't do that right. Move, select our objects first, right click, and we're going to drag this back over and set it on top of this. All right, so we're going to do the front gable first because that's going to be the easiest. And I'm going to bring those two lines. We already brought those two lines down. And I'm going to bring the ridge down also, but not quite to that fascia as we did before. So I'm going to stop it right about there. And now is where we determine the pitch. And the pitch is rise over run. Simple math. Again, simple math stuff. If I come over 12 inches and I go up 12 inches, you know your math, that makes a 45-degree angle, right? 12 inches over, you got a right angle, and you get a 45. So roof lines are always measured by rise over run, and it's always over 12 inches. So it's a 10-12, it's an 8-12, it's a 6-12, 14-12. One time I helped a buddy in college. He had a house, he had a 14-12 on it, so that was even steeper than this. So like 9, 10, 12 is really steep. 12, 12 is crazy steep, even more than that. Most houses, I don't know, most 6, 8, 7, somewhere around there is pretty normal. 4 or 5 gets pretty low. If it's like a Frank Lloyd Wright with a real low roof, it might be like a 4, maybe a 3. Anything less than a 3 is usually too flat to pitch well, and also for the snow load to fall off. And so 3 is kind of about as low as we go. If we do a 7-12 pitch, it ends up being about exactly 30-degree angle. So sometimes I just like to do a 30-degree angle, and I will come down here and switch this over to 30 degrees and draw my pitch at 30. And that becomes about almost a perfect 7-12 pitch. And so you get to determine how steep you want your roof to be by what rise over run you want to use. My house actually does have a 12-12 because it was built back when they kind of just did what they wanted, and I had this Victorian farmhouse feel with a 12-12 pitch. So we're going to run this edge of the roof down. So I went to the edge here, come down here, and I went up, and I'm just going to go up to that ridge line that I brought down and back down again. And I changed it to 30s. I got to go back to 45s. And if I did it right, it should snap right on that overhang line right there. So I'm going to get another way you can kind of check yourself. And then I'm going to offset for my fascia 6 inches. And so the fascia that's going up the gable will come like that. So I offset that 6 inches and 6 inches in. All right, now the second roof. Now this is going the opposite direction. So if I draw the angle on the front of the house, I'm not going to get that angle. So I need to draw a dummy version of it over here. So I'm going to grab my line. I'm going to grab the edge of this roof, come over here, grab the edge of this roof, come over here. And now I'm going to do that same thing again, 45 degrees up, 45 degrees over, bring over the ridge line. And now what I want to do is measure how tall this main roof is. Because I'm not seeing the actual angle on this side, I need to measure it over here. And so I'm going to grab my measurement tool, and I'm going to check from here to here. And I am 9 foot 3 and 9/16 tall. So what I want to do now is offset the top of the fascia 9 foot 3 and 3/16. And that's going to give me this ridge height in my elevation. So I'm going to offset 9 foot 3 and 3/16, and pick the top of the fascia and up. And that is my second story roof. And so now I'm going to show you how to clean that up. And so I'm going to go to trim here. I don't need this line anymore. This one is part of the roof on the lower level, so I'm just going to trim that out for now. Trim that out. I'm going to keep it here. I guess I got a spot on there I can keep it from. I'm going to get rid of this one. I don't need this one anymore. I don't need this anymore. That's the wall edge on the second story and the front level, main level. This one is coming all the way over to here. And this one is the wall edge. We have our fascia edge for the second story roof here. Wall edge, we don't need that anymore. We don't need this anymore. And that, and that, and that. And delete. All right. So you can kind of see the house. So these are window lines. I don't need these anymore. We already brought that down. I think that's all window lines. And trim. And erase. And that is the basic part of that. I'll do the porch roofs quick a minute because they're easy. The porch roofs are not nearly 12-12 pitch. So that porch roof starts here. It's going to come down. I'm going to pick up here. And I want to come up about this high. And so that looks to me about like a 412. So I'm going to come over 12 inches. Come up 4. Go back. And then I want to extend this porch roof up to the side of the house here. So we're going to go to Extend Tool, right click. I'm going to do the same on this side. And that porch roof is going to come down. Oops. And it's going to come past this one on this point. This line here is actually the floor in the second story, but unless I had X-ray vision, I won't be able to see that, so I can dump that one. These I can get rid of. This I can get rid of. And this and this. That. There's another little roof here on this little overhang that bumps out. And we'll take that up. Trim that out. Trim this out. And then there's this first story roof back here above the kitchen, which I can show you tomorrow. We're already getting way too long in this video, and it's going to come up about this high, and it's a gable. Like I said, I kind of ad-libbed a little bit here, just for time, because I'm already 12 minutes into this video. It's way longer than I wanted to take. Anyway, so you can kind of start to see the shape of the house start to take form on this picture. And so that was a ton of information. It's like I said, it's the trickiest thing that you're going to do. And so I would like to have you guys give that a try. Draw your roof lines, see if you can figure out which angle things are going. Send me a screenshot or send me the file, and I can look at it again and help you figure out what it's going to need to look like. I also should be able to see your elevation, because this could be a hip roof, it could be a gable roof, and so there's some options that could modify how it looks in our elevation when we draw it. But I'm going to stop here because, like I said, I'm way longer than I really wanted to be. Keep plugging away. Keep sending me your questions, and I know we're having a lot of trouble with different programs on different computers, but I hope you guys are able to do it and keep plugging away at it. Again, hit me up with any questions, and I will try to get back to you as I can. Sorry this is so long, but this is kind of a big step of getting your roof on your house, or at least getting set up to do that. Anyway, take care. Have a good Thursday. And again, send me some screenshots of what you're working on, and I'll love to give you credit for what you're doing. So have a good one. I'll catch you guys soon.